Stephen Edgerton here from Westminster, and today I'm reporting from Jacob Rees-Mogg's Leave Means Leave event at Conservative Party conference. Now the room is packed, the atmosphere is electric. Also speaking is Tim Martin, the boss of Weatherspoons, so let's have a look what they're going to say.
But actually for some businesses it's been easy. They haven't needed to innovate or automate or to invest. They've just been able to call upon a large pool of unskilled labour to come over to keep prices down for the least well-off in our society. We want to change that, but not only change it so that the unskilled get paid more, but so that their opportunities to have better jobs are improved, because businesses will have the incentive to train them rather than drawing on this pool from overseas, and will have the incentive to automate, ensuring that the jobs they are doing are better jobs anyway. And we are almost there. And how best should we get there? Well, you'll be reassured to know that I haven't in the last few hours suddenly come to the conclusion that Chequers is marvellous. Because the more I think about Chequers, the more rotten I know it is. It is not leaving the European Union, it is vassalage. It is being tied down by the European Union and giving us inflexibility, meaning that we are still governed by their rules in terms of goods and agri-foods, and that we have no say in those rules, and that the European Union's highest court, the European Court of Justice, or the Court of Justice of the European Union, if you wish to call it that, will be the ultimate arbiter, and we will have no say. And our only ability not to do that could lead to us being penalised. Penalised by an organisation to which we no longer belong. It's a completely outrageous proposition. It's worse than what we have in terms of penalties at the moment. The penalties could be higher than if we didn't implement an EU directive now as a member state. This is exactly what the Prime Minister said she would not do at Lancaster House. At Lancaster House... No.
Get your letter in.
Certainly not. I'm said again and again, but thank you, I always like a bit of robust heckling. It's very British. We like robust meetings. But we need to change the policy, and we need to persuade the Prime Minister to evolve her position, because that's the Downing Street word. We like evolution. And in evolution I have a nasty feeling that the Chequers plan is the missing link.
But what surprised me so much in the last few years is the extent to which a lot of highly intelligent people have drawn a different conclusion. They've thought that to avoid trouble in the world, you've got to take away democratic power and give it to people who haven't been elected in Brussels or perhaps elsewhere. And I think it comes from a feeling, a fear of the public, a feeling that if you cede power to other people like us, highly educated people like us, then we'll be better off. But it's such a dangerous way to go about things, and you can see in the EU how this is happening with 5 unelected presidents. Hardly anyone in the UK understood that. A court which isn't subject to parliamentary democratic control, and MPs, so-called MPs, who can't even initiate legislation. So it's a mock democracy.
There's a lot of businesses who warn against the no deal, saying it would be a disaster for them. Do you believe their warnings, or do you listen to them at all?
The warnings simply aren't true, I think. We've made the case today that you can eliminate tariffs, prices will go down, that will make people better off, we can regain control of fishing, and we can save 39 billion or invest it in the UK. The combination of those things puts us in a really good position. The EU is a protectionist system which has thousands of tariffs which keep prices in the shops high and prevent free trade. So I think it's more or less accepted in the wider world that free trade brings greater prosperity, and that's what no deal, it's a better word for no deal, is free trade.
Are you excited about a no deal prospect?
Yeah, I personally think no deal is better for us. It's simpler. If someone comes along with something better, then fine, but no deal is a very exciting prospect if we do make the right moves.
Do you support Jacob Rees-Mogg today?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes.
Were you impressed by his speech?
Very, very. Jacob was a candidate once in the Wrekin, and because he was such a Eurosceptic, and we've believed in him ever since.
Oh, it's marvellous. I mean, he's an outstanding sort of parliamentarian, no question about it.
And what do you think about the idea of a people's vote or a second referendum?
I am a member of the people, and I've already voted, so I don't need another one. I mean, there's no new people being invented, and I actually did vote in 1975 to join what I thought was the European Economic Community, and I would still have done it. If Cameron had been successful, I would have voted to remain in a reformed European Union. But they've called our bluff, and so I think we have to call theirs.
So, are you guys all Jacob Rees-Mogg fans? You know, should he be Prime Minister?
I think there's a possibility, but for the minute I think we should stick with Theresa May.
Okay.
If the politics allowed it, but currently it's not possible.
Okay.
Then it would be.
I think he's funny and he's a great leader. I'm not sure the country would go for it, even though we might go for it. So probably not for now. Let's get Brexit done and then see what happens.
Yeah, I'm the same. I do support quite a lot of his policies, but I don't think the current climate would allow him to be PM. I don't think that'd be possible.
Do you support a second referendum?
No, definitely not, because well, one, it would be undemocratic, and two, I mean, we can't keep going on like this. I mean, we've got to put an end to it somehow, and they'll just ask for another referendum if it doesn't go the right way again.
As to I think, look, we're a democracy, so it'd be completely wrong to have a second referendum, and we've already decided for a generation, we were told. As to the whole vote being stolen by the old people, I find this argument quite Orwellian, to be honest with you, because, I mean, my question would be, okay, so let's work together, let's find a solution to this problem. So I can only think of one solution to that problem, which is we shouldn't let people over 60, 65 perhaps vote. You know, that goes to places you don't want to go to, because then the next question is, well, why stop at age? Why shouldn't we say certain IQ can only vote? Why shouldn't we say certain races can only vote? Why should we say certain classes can only vote? It makes no logical sense to stop at age.
So, what do you think about Jacob Rees-Mogg tonight?
Well, he was his usual persuasive and logical self. He was very supportive still for the Prime Minister. I think that's the right way to go. But yes, we've got a Chuck Chequers. Quite how we get rid of it, I'm not sure.
And he spoke the absolute truth. There's no getting away from it. He said what lots of us feel out there. And I'm so proud of him. I'm glad I've been here tonight. We want a proper Brexit.
Continue with Chequers, for example. Would you never vote Conservative again?
Oh, I think that may well be the outcome.
I'd never say never, but I wouldn't at the next election. No, I would not vote, because Chequers is a betrayal of people, and the Conservatives generally don't betray the country. This occasion they would if she did.
What did you think about Jacob Rees-Mogg's speech?
Oh, he's actually a remarkably intelligent man, and you know the speech itself was very cogent, well thought out, and explained in absolute detail why we should be leaving the EU. The whole point about this operation is that it depends on democracy. That's why we want to leave. Democracy is the key. In Europe, there is no democracy. If we had another referendum, I personally think that Leave would win, because no matter what's been said over by the Remoaners, I believe that those people who voted to leave still want to leave.
Thank you so much for watching this Westminster report. If you enjoy our work, please click the link in the description below to help keep us going.